Hi guys, and welcome to the Friday Live thing. I have a suspicion this one's going to be a cracker because myself and Tim have been just chatting beforehand, and we're pretty much blowing each other's minds. So, welcome. How's your week been, Tim? Unloaded 8,000 tubs of lean greens yet?
We had 1,000 tubs of lean greens arrive, and 3,727 tubs of turmeric arrive. Are still waiting for the other 3,000 tubs of lean greens to arrive. But hey, we've got stock, which is the important bit, I suppose. Yeah, that now that I've got 3,727. Actually, I've got 3,996 tubs of turmeric, which I now need to sell. So if anybody's got any good ideas of how to get rid of 3,996 tubs of turmeric very quickly, I'll be. I'm all ears.
Make curry, mate.
Page. I just need some traffic to send to it cheaply.
No, simple. Like, just start doing curry recipes. Right. So this week has been a weird week, and it's actually probably been one of my most enjoyable weeks marketing. Lean greens, well done. I actually told my chiropractor about you yesterday. I showed him your page. This week has probably been my most enjoyable marketing week for, I would say, 2 or 3 years. I absolutely loved every minute of it because I found out that Justin Brooke over at AdSkills was running a competition this week, or a challenge to make 100 sales of his retargeting book, which is giving away free. So I thought, no way on earth am I doing that. I can't compete against these guys. I mean, you've got guys there spending thousands of dollars, millions of dollars in advertising. There's no way on earth that I can compete. And so I just forgot about it. And Monday morning, I'm like, do you know what? Screw it. Because if somebody said to me, should they do it? I'd have said, yeah, hell yeah. Just do it for the experience. So I screw it. I'm going to do it. So I literally mocked it. I applied, sent them my WABEN forms, did a few posts, wrote an email. I think I wrote an email, sent it out, and that's it. Done. That night, laying in bed, open up my iPad, check if I made any sales, or check what was happening in the challenge. I'm lying second. No, that can't be right. Now, how can I lie second with a couple of posts? So I thought, you know what, I'm actually going to go for this a little bit. So I then wrote some more posts. I started running some ads, and somebody else won it. I mean, obviously, I was never going to win it. I never thought I would. I actually finished third between someone running a load of Facebook ads and someone who'd done a lot of YouTube ads. Right. So this is where I'm going to claim moral victory. Right. And everyone I've told this went, you're joking. But actually it makes real sense. So if you get to this point, stick with us for 10 minutes, because what we're going to tell you now is going to blow your mind. The guy who won, he'd made 100 sales in about 36 hours. He was spending $7,000 a day. Right? His cost per acquisition was $100. Bear in mind, this is a giveaway book. Now, there's a reason behind this, and this is why you always have to know the numbers. The first prize for getting to 100 sales was $5,000. Okay, so that's $50 cost per action. On top of that, you were getting $50 per sale for giving away the book, because JB and AdSkills know their numbers. They know that every customer they acquire, right, is worth $200 to them, or $180. It doesn't matter. They know the figures, right? So they can afford to go, do you know what? We're happy to give $100 CPA, or $50 as it is now after everything's finished. But they knew their figures. So this guy looked at it and went, do you know what? I can win this. I'll just throw $100 at every acquisition. So what happened? He won it. Okay, he broke even. Maybe made a little profit, maybe made a little loss. Doesn't matter. Everyone goes, well, why would you do that? And you've got to realize what the big picture is. The big picture is he now has probably $10,000 worth of data. Okay, he probably threw in 100 keywords that he targeted on Facebook with ads. He has now got a list of maybe 10 keywords that are massively profitable and 90 keywords that aren't profitable. So going forward now, he can make these $50 sales for $10 or $11. And that is why he threw the money. Now, just to make me feel good, because I like making myself feel good, Tim did some stats for me, right? And I can't believe this. So his return on ad spend was 1x. My return on ad spend was 156x. Go email marketing. Right. My cost, or his cost per acquisition was $100. Okay, so every sale, it cost me $100 to make a sale. My cost per acquisition was 32 cents. Now, that is absolutely mind-blowing to me. So I actually probably made more profit than he did over the competition. In fact, I probably made more profit than pretty much anyone else who did it, because I spent a grand total of $9.26 over the whole thing. So I'm really happy with that.
So take a step back, Mark, because I just want to kind of like, because I kind of understand the way you've done this, but explain the process that you've gone through with the ad spend that you've made, because this is kind of key, because this is some of the stuff that we've done in Pro a little bit, and actually I think it's been in the foundation as well. But just explain why you've sent some emails and you've done a couple of Facebook posts. Why did you still spend 26 on Facebook ads?
What I did, I actually set up 2 ads. Now, the thing about Facebook, and I've noticed more and more recently, is Facebook won't run ads to small audiences. No. Okay, so normal retargeting ads sometimes don't work. They just never kick off. Okay, and even I think, I don't know what the figure is. I probably think it's about 200-300 people. They won't run an ad to less than 200-300 people. So what I thought, let's get around this. So I used a switchy link. Okay, so those are links that we apply the pixel to. So the normal Facebook pixel gets applied to the link rather than when someone lands on the page. So what happens there is anybody who clicked the link, I've got them. I've got them pixeled. I can retarget them. Okay, but what I did this time was I got a hot 7 audience. So anybody who's done anything in the last 7 days with our brand, landed on any of our properties, or is in our email list, I ran a reach ad to them. I wonder where I thought about that from. So I just had a simple reach ad, and it was simply retargeting recipes is free. Click here to find out more. It was literally that. I did put a little bit about how I bought 2 copies. Mr. Anders Brown is on. He may have a copy of retargeting recipes on his desk, but he hasn't read it yet. And so what I did was literally I just showed reach ads to anybody who'd engaged in the last 7 days.
So the interesting thing with the reach ads is that Facebook are less fussy about reach ads. I've found certainly when it comes to, because we're all addicted to like running conversion campaigns on Facebook, because that's kind of almost the default. Oh yeah, well I want to get conversion, I want to get a lead, or I want to get like a sale, or I want to get an add to cart, or whatever it might be. And those are the normal conversion events that we are trying to optimize for. So we forget that there's about another dozen other different campaign types on Facebook, and reach is one way of kind of bypassing all of this nonsense with Facebook trying to optimize your campaign for conversion events. Because if Mark had run the same campaign for a conversion event, what Facebook would have done is gone, okay, out of those 300 people that you pixeled in your hot 7 list and all that kind of stuff, of those 300 people, it's like they'll go, oh, well, there's 10 people over here and 10 people over there that may be your most likely converters. So we're going to show the advert to them first, rather than with a reach campaign, what it does is it goes, okay, we're just going to show this ad to all 300 people. And with the reach campaigns, one of the things you can do is you can actually set there's basically a frequency. You can go, I want to show this advert to each person X number of times per day or per week or that kind of thing. And that's a great way of just basically flooding and forcing Facebook to show your advert to as many people as possible. And here's the kicker, it's cheap.
Yeah, well, I'm just calling up the stats for the ad I ran. But what I also did, rather than run a retargeting ad, okay, anybody who clicked the links on any of the posts or anywhere, I put up another reach ad that listed the bonus I was offering. Because obviously with an affiliate program, with an affiliate campaign, you don't know who's bought. It's different. You can do it. There are tricky ways of doing it. But the easiest way, is just get people to reach out to you.
Yeah.
Okay, so and say, send me your receipt and I'll give you a bonus. Okay, but so bear in mind, in my position, I didn't know who bought. So anybody who clicked the link, I just retargeted with, here's my retargeting bonus. Simply reply to me, message me, whatever, contact me and I'll give you access if you give me your receipt. Oh, by the way, if you haven't bought yet, here's the link. So it was a combination retargeting ad, collect your bonus type ad. So people who hadn't bought knew about the bonus because they'd click through. And again, I ran that as a reach ad. Now, because the audience isn't too big on that, I mean, it's still less than 200 people. It hasn't kicked off yet. I don't mind that because the first ad was the main one to get people to click through, and that worked. Right. So you talk for a second, Tim.
The whole reach thing is interesting because, so many people miss that as an option, and especially for things like retargeting campaigns. Once you can get it working, once you've got that audience, clicking, if somebody's clicked on your ad, like from a cold audience, they've landed on your landing page, they've looked around, they've done whatever thing, but they've not bought yet. A reach campaign, especially for small retargeting campaigns, if you're running like say for example, for us, we run conversion campaigns for our retargeting because we have larger pools, we have larger audiences. So the number of people who've engaged with our ad in the last 30 days, we've got literally thousands and thousands of people in that audience. So we can run a conversion campaign on Facebook. However, if your audiences are less than 1,000, you might as well run a reach campaign because the people have clicked and they're vaguely interested. So you're actually better off spending the money. And it's actually, repeat it again, it's cheaper to run a reach campaign than it is a conversion campaign, because you sidetrack all of that nonsense with Facebook trying to do clever shit and optimize and machine learning and all that kind of stuff. It still tries to do certain optimization, I believe, but it's not as intensive as a conversion campaign. So yeah, it's definitely something worthwhile looking at, especially if you are running to smaller audiences.
Yeah, so here's what the basic ad results were, although it's still running. Click-through rate was 1.67, which is pretty good. Cost per 1,000 impressions was $10.72. Clicks was 15 clicks for $9.63. So, and that's a reach of 800 people. I mean, you can't, and it's only been shown to everyone once so far, or 1.03 times. So it's still got a lot of legs in it.
Yeah, and it's like that's one of the things I find interesting is like the reach numbers and impressions is kind of a bit of a, you kind of have this feeling, oh, well, that person has seen the ad. Well, actually, no, they've scrolled past it. They might have actually just about maybe seen it. I don't know. But it generally is a bit of a false number. You haven't had like 800 people actually see your advert. It's been shown in a feed somewhere where they've scrolled past. That's essentially the impression and the reach.
Yeah. No, it's. I mean, the part of the joy of this whole process was the amount of time it didn't take. You know, I've written 3 emails. That's an hour and a half this week. I've done maybe 3 or 4 posts, about 5 minutes each, and I set up the ad, and that was it. I mean, for that worked out. I mean, the amount of time I spent, my income must have been well over $500 an hour. So I could do that all day, every day.
So I think before we went live, Mark was talking about the person who won, okay, and the cost per acquisition, or basically CPA numbers that winning person had used, and it's like, which is actually quite an interesting discussion. I think this whole idea of having the ability to spend $100 to acquire a customer, okay, and for most people, they go $100 to acquire a customer. That's nuts. Yeah. But as Mark says, this guy's got a whole bunch of data which he can now go back to, and he can spend now $10 cost per acquisition rather than $100. But even so, one of the things that happens when you start spending $100 cost per acquisition and you show Google or YouTube or whoever it is, the ad platform that you're using, even Facebook, if you can show them that you're willing to spend $100 to acquire a customer, and I'm thinking of people like Anders Brown, who is selling stuff that is high value. We're talking thousands of worth of like mid-century furniture kind of thing. It's to spend $100 to acquire that customer is actually not a massive reach. It's not a massive stretch to think, well, actually, I'd be willing to spend $100 because I know that I'm going to make another $400 from this customer in profit after COGS and all that kind of stuff. So, if you can show these ad platforms that you're willing to spend that kind of money, Facebook, Google, YouTube, whatever ad platform that you're on is, and this is something that Justin had actually mentioned, is like, they will give you the keys to the kingdom. They will give you great quality customers.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the joys of doing this challenge this week has been literally just getting a direct feed from Justin Brooks' brain, the other guys doing the challenge, the other girls doing the challenge, them saying, well, I'm doing this and this is what I think about it. This is why I'm doing it. Justin Brooks posted the other day that the only thing he would do if he was doing it is to do a display advert, Google Display Network advert, then do a search for marketing books, and any page that came up about marketing books that had ads on it, he'd target that for his ads, and he'd do it for $5 a day to start with.
And here's the interesting thing with that, but he's saying he'd start it at $5 a day, but here's something which is quite fascinating. He would start at $5 a day and put some money up there, but if he shows that he's willing to spend $100 to acquire a customer through that platform, then again, Google, Facebook, whatever, in this case it's Google Display, especially with Google Display, if you show that you're willing to spend $100 to acquire a customer, they will give you the very best placements on the planet. They will put you like in there, and I'm sure that this happens with GDN, with Google Display Network, where they've got these kind of like almost locked away placements that are only reserved for the big boys, the people who are willing to spend the cash to get the very best customers, and they only let people into that once they've shown that they're willing to spend the money to put ads on that particular placement and actually know their numbers enough that they can get customers from it. So it's one of the things, that frustrating things I think most people find with things like Google Display, and I certainly have had this issue before, is that when you start running Google Display campaigns and you're spending like $5 a day or $10 a day, and you set a low cost per acquisition like level of like, oh well, I only want to spend £10 or £5 to acquire a customer, it's actually quite hard for Google to like put you in decent placements. So you start seeing all of the crappy placements appear on your campaigns, and it's quite difficult to kind of break through that. In my experience, that's certainly been the case. But the more quickly you can show that you're willing to spend money to acquire that customer, they'll start giving you the better placements.
People who don't know JB or Justin Brooks' story, he started out with just a few dollars, literally just a few dollars, and ran some Google Display Network ads. And basically, he was like a guy in a casino, just letting it roll. Every cent he made, he put it back into the ads. And in 11 months, he turned his $30 he started with, or something like that. Or was it, even though I think it was $60 a month for his first, but I can't remember exactly.
I think it was like $2 a day on one single placement. One particular web page that he was putting his advert, and for as you say, every dollar he got out, he fed back in again, and then grew that to literally tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars.
He was earning $1 million by month 11, wasn't he?
Yeah,
his income was $1 million a month after month 11. So if you're prepared to just start with a low budget and let it ride. So every time he made money, he just upped the budget next day so his profit stayed in there. And interesting way of doing things. But I said, one thing I've done this time, and I thought, I'll do a masterclass. So the idea was, we'll do a webinar at the end, and I'll go through what I did. But I started writing the other day, sort of almost journaling what I was doing and my thoughts behind it. So I turned it into a case study. And honestly, it's the most cathartic thing I've ever done. Because I'll try to explain it the other day to someone. When we do a course, when we sit down and run a course or prepare a course, what we do is, okay, so what do people need to learn from this course to make it valuable to them? What's the best way of presenting it to them so they'll understand it and hopefully implement it? Whereas doing a case study, you're just going, right, okay, I did this, and this. I'm not particularly interested in what they take out of it. I'm interested in showing how I am doing it. It might be completely different to what I'd probably write down if I was trying to do this as a course. I'd do that whole, go and find this and go and find that and find your avatar. That I'm not going to do that. This is what I'm doing. So because doing it as a case study, you're not afraid to show the mistakes you make, and you're not afraid to look, screw the whole avatar thing. Just run it to a huge audience to see who bites, see who nibbles. But you can't do that, of course. You've got to go, okay, you have to find your avatar or else you will be wasting money. So it also showed me exactly what I was doing. So I'm actually going back and reading my case study because it's literally powering it, putting everything onto a page as it comes to me. It's really, really good. So I recommend anybody who does journal it somewhere every day. Sit down, write about what you've done that day, why you've done it. What's your thinking behind it? I think you'll find it quite interesting.
I think the takeaways for this is, don't be overawed by this idea that I don't have an audience, so I can't promote an affiliate platform. I can't promote an affiliate program. And it's like one of the things that Mark did in his course, I can't even remember the name of the course now, which basically is about running very low cost ads to, we're all kind of like
be the $1 a day Facebook ad system.
That's the one.
We've got to get better names, mate. We've got to have better names.
But it's like people are almost scared of running ads to get an affiliate sale, and lots of the time, like you don't need to spend a huge amount of money, as Mark has proved. $9.26 to actually achieve some decent returns from an affiliate program.
Right. The actual target audience that I had for this, the segment I created to do all this, was 722 people. Right, so literally I've made almost $2 per person on the segment that I actually created. Whether they bought or not, the average was $2 per person on there. I mean, segmentation, boys, that's the way forward.
And this comes back to some of the stuff we've talked about with Facebook like campaigns. If you've got an audience with a common interest, say, for example, it's, I don't know, mountain bikers or people who like cooking or, you know, whatever it might be. So by building that list, that audience, that Facebook audience, it gives you a starting point and gives you the ability to run affiliate offers in front of these people for a relatively low cost. And it's not like you're starting from absolute zero, because a lot of the time we go, oh, well, I'm going to run promote an affiliate program. Crap, I actually haven't got any audience. It's like, you should be creating the audience every single day. You should be building that audience every day. And because you can get, for, you know, I gave the example a couple of weeks ago for the mountain biking restaurant, cafe, hotel place down the road, and they're getting likes for like 6 pence a like. And it's, you know, it's the lowest cost way of building an audience right now for them. And it means that they can put offers now in front of that particular audience very, very easily and very, very cheaply to fill their restaurant, to fill their hotel. And that's why you want to be building these audiences in the first place. So when you've got an affiliate offer or you've got an offer that you can put in front of them, it's not like you're starting from zero.
Yeah, I mentioned I had a coffee with my chiropractor yesterday because he wants to do some videos, and we got talking about like promoting his business and stuff like that. I said, look, the best thing you can do is go to Tim's Lean Green page, right? Because that's something you can't particularly advertise on Facebook. You can't. You struggle to advertise supplements. Look how Tim does it. Look at the posts he does. Follow the posts. So we call it in the cafe. Like Lean Green's on the phone, went through and said, look. He went, I've never seen anyone advertise like that before. I said, but it's not advertising, really, is it? It's passing information with a link at the end, and it works. It honestly works. I mean, I tell everybody watching this now, if you want to advertise or market your business, look at what Tim's doing on Facebook. You won't see anybody else, very few other people doing it that way. And it is the way you should be doing it. It's literally what we do in the foundation, we should do on a Facebook page as well. So if you haven't been in the foundation recently, I mean, I wrote a brain dump last week. I should have actually put it on Facebook, but I will put it on Facebook next week. I mean, there's so much information there. And then at the end, just link to the foundation. If you want more like this, go to the foundation. So what I'm going to probably do is start taking all the stuff we've written in there, put it out on Facebook, and run reach ads to it, and just leave it like that. Just let it naturally grow. Because if I can do what I did this week with an audience of 700, think what we could do with a segmented audience of 7,000. And that's not a lot of people compared to what most people have. It creates, I mean, I'm so glad on so many different levels I actually took this challenge this week. It's a great exercise. My faith in marketing. I was feeling a little bit jaded, and I absolutely loved it. Loved it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Sorry, I'm just looking to see what else I had written down for.
Before you do that, look, guys, retargeting recipes. HTTPS smolikes.com/recipes. Go there. If you buy the book, it's free plus shipping. $6.95 shipping in US and $12 for the rest of the world, which is unfortunate, really. Send me your receipt, and I will give you access to this case study. And I've actually, I think there's 12 people who've actually sent me the receipt so far on access, and already 2 of them said, Mark, this is amazing. Honestly, what I've written in there is top. I'm rereading it every day just to remind myself. And it's still being written out. So I've got a big bit to come after this. I'm going to write a huge big bit in there about what I'm doing going forward. As you can see, I'm so enthusiastic about this. I've got my mojo back. But yeah, so or check out the emails I made earlier in the week, or somewhere above below this you'll find something. Yeah.
Cool. Oh, sorry, I've just read the last line. So,
I miss drinking with that young Anders Brown there.
oh dear.
Yeah, the man with the driest sense of humour in the world. Drier than Chardonnay.
Oh, brilliant.
Yes, it is, isn't it, Ian? Right, so we know you've been unpacking boxes and stuff. What else?
What else have I been up to? Good question. It's trying to dig down really into some. I talked about doing postcards last week. Postcards and like.
Oh, hang on, can I hold you a second?
Yeah,
we've got to do branding. We've got to do branding again.
Did we?
Yeah. Let me just say one thing. Every single post I did for this whole thing this week has been the same branding as I'm now using on SMO. So there's no dip. So anybody who saw it would have known immediately that it was SMO. It was the whole reason for branding. I promise we will do a branding thing.
Oh yes, yeah. We were going to talk. We were talking
about 2 weeks now. Sorry, Donald.
No, some of the other things I've been doing this week is digging down into some data, and this is one of the reasons why you want to use a platform like
the rest of our customers now.
No. Data. It's a thing. The idea of looking at data, and it's like there's so many people out there go, oh, data. Why? I don't want to look at data. But actually, the insights you get from it are fascinating in terms of, and actually the segmentation that you can do with your audience. Isn't this does relate to some of the stuff that we're talking about with JB's stuff. But one of the things that I've been doing is like, you've got to make sure that you've got an email platform that can actually enable you to do this. So whether you're an active campaign person, or for me personally, a Klaviyo or Klaviyo as they call it, the ability to be able to pull out a very tight segment. So the segment that we've been pulling out is all customers that have bought more than 3 times from us, that haven't bought in the last 3 months, but have bought in the last 12 months. And you get
based on our call we did last week that we didn't publicize because it was so crap because of your connection.
So my connection was really the
missing files. The Friday Live thing, the missing files.
Missing files. But like that kind of data is hugely powerful, like to be able and to kind of run through. One of the reasons for doing it is we got 300 and I think it was about 350 people on that list. We're now sending out a postcard specifically to that audience. We know that because it's such a targeted audience, we're not wasting money. We're not wasting spend on like the stamps and like sending out envelopes to people that are just never going to buy. So dig down into your data and figure out who are the people that have not bought recently, but are relatively recent and have been decent customers in the past, because a lot of the time that would be one of the cheapest ways to reactivate customers and to increase your average lifetime value. So definitely do that. It's something that we're going to do a whole lot more on, I think, because that data is there to be used to grow your lifetime value. So definitely that's something I've been doing this week.
Anders made a comment earlier. I'm going to show this because it's quite relevant. We target Instagram influencers that are interested in our shit. Sold a mid-century dressing table to a cando or a girl who has a lifestyle page with about 100,000 followers. That's brilliant. Just targeting your ads to influencers in the hopes that they buy, and when they do, hopefully feature on their page. Really good idea. I think I mentioned it before though. I spent 3 hours talking to an Instagram influencer who said nothing of interest in 3 hours. Influencer means like basically no personality, I think. Oh my God. But she was 17 and quite pretty. But oh God, it was terrible. It was 3 hours of my life I'll never get back. Be like people who watch our show.
Brilliant.
Right. So, what else is interesting? Oh, CBO was supposed to come in last week, wasn't it?
Yeah, it didn't happen.
No, because when I started these ads, I went, "Come on, let's do some CBO." Ooh, no. So
this has got to be Facebook's worst launch ever. It's like they've delayed the launch of this so many times. I think this is the third time that they've basically called it off at the last moment. And I'm not quite sure what the reasons are for this time, but about 2 weeks prior to CBO allegedly meant to be going live last Friday, ads like my ads plummeted. The ability for them to work plummeted. I was reading about so many other people, some really switched on marketers as well, really struggling with their campaigns for whatever algorithmic change that they were making in the background to accommodate CBO, campaign budget optimization, was really screwing with stuff. So I turned off a bunch of ads, which was quite fortuitous anyway, because I'd run out of stock and I didn't want to run any ads. But you know, I should imagine that I wasn't the only one who was basically just dialing back ad spend. And Facebook are obviously very sensitive to changes. They will see very quickly if something's not working. They will basically backtrack or do something about it. So you know, if their revenue for a day is dropped by 20 million or so, it's noticeable. So, and I'm not joking about the numbers here. This is crazy, isn't it? It's like when you're talking about, oh well, today's revenue is 20 million less than every. So the other thing that's interesting is, I don't know whether people realize this, but Facebook made a yes. So we'll repeat that one. One of the other things that Facebook have backtracked on, which you may or may not have noticed, is that when you run a Facebook ad on Facebook's newsfeed, what happens is you've got an image or you've got your video, and at the top you've got like the bit of description, the first part of the text. And it used to be that you used to get about 5 to 7 lines worth of text above the image. And about 3-4 months ago, they basically went, no, we're going to shorten that. We're only going to show 2 or 3 lines. I've actually started seeing adverts now appear with 5, 6, 7 lines on the newsfeed. So they've obviously backtracked on that as well, because they realized that the text actually does make a difference. Interesting, really, because when you think about it, Facebook thinks, oh, the image or the video is the most important thing. But the text that goes with it is obviously influencing a lot of people as well. So if it's like a short piece of text, they're maybe not seeing it, they're not clicking on it. It's using up less of the space on, like, when you're on your phone, when you're scrolling through on your phone, it's less real estate if you've only got a short bit of text. So, maybe that's the reason why they're backtracking on that as well. So you've always got to keep an eye on what Facebook's doing with, like, especially if you're doing a lot of Facebook ads, because, the stuff changes literally on a daily basis, it seems. The other thing I've been looking at a lot of, whilst it really pains me, is Instagram stories and Facebook stories. And I despise them with a passion, because certainly with Facebook stories, they disappear within 24 hours. They're gone. Like, Instagram stories are a little bit better. But I've actually been looking at...
What I do like Instagram stories is if you do something good or you plan it properly, you can actually pin the story right to the very top, so it actually becomes one of your prime bits of real estate.
Yeah,
which is useful.
So one of the things that we've done this week is actually I got our social media person Ellie, content media person Ellie, to do that. To basically to create I think it's called a highlights reel or highlights story or something. So I got her to create a frequently asked questions one, and it's beautiful. It's like, Ellie does an amazing job. So just go on to our Lean Greens Instagram thing and you'll see what she's done. I can't remember the app that she used, but it's she used to use the free version of this particular app, didn't need to pay for anything. So yeah, looks really, really very good. So I've been playing around a little bit with Instagram ads as well. So the ad format, videos in particular, 15-second long videos. So we've got a few things going on there. What was that Anders put up? So took Tim's advice, bought some nice little branded cards and envelopes, popped them inside the furniture, handwritten thank you, already had positive comments, nice touch. No, it is exactly that the whole, because nobody else is doing it. And this is the interesting thing that, if you think about what post appears on your doorstep now, it's either like a blatant advertising or it's bills. And even then, bills, we're not getting through the post anymore. So people are getting less and less post. So when you send a card or a thank you card, or you include a card in with something, it's a small touch that makes a substantial difference to the way people feel about your brand. So definitely recommended that you do that. It's one of the reasons why we're picking up on like doing more post, is that because people don't receive post anymore. People don't receive stuff through the mail that they can pick up and tangible feel, actually get a feeling for it. So we do it in like like gift card, sort of, thank you card type things. We put it in a bright green envelope, and it stands out, really stands out when it lands on the doorstep.
I mean, it's all, we've said it so many times, it's the little things that actually make a huge difference. There's another good point for me, as ever. The image video gets our attention, but we're so jaded, we want to read the next to sense if we should bother watching and clicking. Yeah, true. I mean, I think one of the big problems that Facebook did when they obliterated text on the images, people generally now don't know what it's about. So they rely on the headline. If the headline's clickbaity or not ambiguous, they've got, what do you have to do? You have to read the content. If the content doesn't, if you get one line of content, what's the point of clicking through? Because you still, having spent your 2.5 milliseconds on there, or your 2 milliseconds, or your 2 seconds on there, you still don't know what it's about. You're just going to scroll past it.
One of the problems we're finding actually with our ads, and one of the things that we've really found with our ads recently is because Facebook have instigated this whole ad quality score. So whether it's like above average, average, below average, very below average, kind of, awful. It's like the ad quality score is based upon not just people's feedback, so people who've clicked on the ads feedback, but so if somebody clicks to hide the ad, that shows as a negative against you and things like that. But also they read they deem whether the text that you've put on the headline is clickbaity or not. Now, or sensationalized or something like that. So our the advert that's working really, really well, gets punished because we use the words hate. Do you hate veg? Or I think I'd put it as, I think the headline is I hate veg, or I hate vegetables, ? And it's kind of the stuff like that where you just go, okay, well, I'm just going to get punished by Facebook for doing that. So, but you're limited in the text that you can show, and people kind of like, make an opinion about your stuff because they're headline readers. So you got to be really, really careful about how you write the headlines. Here we go. My dad found an old Chinese banknote in a piece of furniture, gave it as a tip at a local Chinese restaurant. the whole staff lined up to thank us as we'd left. He'd given a 5K tip.
See, another example of why you should do your research.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. I think we should knock it on the head for today. That's 45 minutes.
I think so. I think it's all good today.
Water torture for one day, isn't it?
No, I hope that people have kind of, certainly the first half of this live, the stuff that we're talking about with affiliate marketing, and certainly with like running campaigns on Google Display and YouTube and even on Facebook, it's like, you know, don't shy away from doing some of these challenges just for anything, just to see what everybody else is doing. Because, you know, it's huge, about, as Mark's proved, it's, you know, been hugely valuable, and it's excited him again with affiliate marketing. So next week you'll see Mark do a WSO affiliate promotion for a $7 product.
No, you won't see me do a WSO for $7 product. I don't know what I'm going to do next week now. I do know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do some research. Well, or probably do all the stuff I was supposed to be doing this week.
Planning our branding call.
Yeah, definitely. Right, guys, thank you very much. Any questions, please ask. You can always get us in the foundation. Join the foundation, it's free. joinsmo.com/free. Or if you want to get hold of the retargeting recipes book, https smolikes.com/recipes. But remember, the case study I'm giving you as a bonus is way more valuable than the book, although the book, just to prove I do have it, is awesome. So good, I bought it twice, literally. So yeah. And yeah, come and join the foundation. Come on, you'll love it there.
Oh yeah. That's the other thing to say. As far as I know, my talk in London is still going ahead. There's no coronavirus bullshit going on. So as far as I know, it's still going on.
My money's still on traffic and conversions being cancelled. I'm trying to find a bookmaker to take a bet on that. I want to put 10 quid on that, on traffic TNC being cancelled.
Ouch.
Exactly.
That's all I can say.
Ouch. You watch Ryan Dice on Warrior Forum doing $7 WSOs after that. Right, guys. Speak to you later. Because obviously he's still going to have to pay people like, you've got Arnold Schwarzenegger on there, isn't he? Keynote speaker.
I don't know whether you realise actually that traffic and conversions now is not owned by Ryan Dice. It's owned by a separate events company. But
didn't know that.
But it's still like, obviously they still are essentially the figureheads for it. Yeah. It's just that the company that run it is a bigger events company. So yeah, interesting.
They must be wrapping themselves.
Yeah. Right. Cool. I'll leave you be.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend. See you later. Bye.